Chapter 1: The Spark of Change. Fatima grew up in a small village nestled in the heart of rural Kenya, where life moved at a slow pace and opportunities were few. Her childhood was simple but filled with dreams that stretched far beyond the dusty roads and modest homes of her community. From an early age, Fatima loved learning. She would often sit under the shade of the big acacia tree near her home, flipping through old textbooks borrowed from neighbors or reading aloud to her younger siblings. Her favorite subject was always English, though she struggled with it. The language felt foreign, its rules complex and unfamiliar, but something about it fascinated her. It seemed like a key to a world she could only imagine, a world of possibilities. Her parents, farmers who worked tirelessly to provide for their family, encouraged her love for education. They believed that knowledge was the only way out of poverty and often reminded Fatima that she had the potential to achieve great things if she stayed focused. Their words stuck with her as she walked miles each day to attend the local primary school, where resources were scarce and teachers were stretched thin. Despite these challenges, Fatima excelled in her studies, particularly in English. She dreamed of becoming a teacher herself one day, someone who could inspire children just as her own teachers had inspired her. After completing high school, Fatima earned a scholarship to attend a teacher training college in a nearby town. It was there that her passion for teaching truly blossomed. She learned how to create lesson plans, manage classrooms, and connect with students on a deeper level. But more importantly, she began to understand the power of education to transform lives, not just her own, but those of others as well. When she graduated, she returned to her village to take up a teaching position at the same primary school she had attended as a child. For Fatima, this felt like coming full circle. She was determined to give back to the community that had shaped her. Teaching in her village, however, was not without its difficulties. The school lacked basic supplies like textbooks, pens, and even desks. Many of her students came from families struggling to make ends meet, and some missed classes regularly to help with household chores or farm work. Despite these obstacles, Fatima poured her heart into her job. She taught math, science, history, and of course English. Yet over time, she began to notice a troubling pattern among her students. While they showed enthusiasm for learning, their limited grasp of English held them back. This realization weighed heavily on her mind. English was the language of opportunity in Kenya. It was the medium of instruction in secondary schools and universities, the language used in government offices, and the key to accessing scholarships and exchange programs abroad. Without strong English skills, her students faced significant barriers to advancing their education or pursuing careers outside the village. Fatima saw this limitation reflected in their eyes during lessons, eyes filled with curiosity but tinged with frustration when they couldn't fully express themselves or understand complex ideas. She knew she had to do something to change this. One evening, after a long day of teaching, Fatima sat alone in her small classroom, surrounded by stacks of worn-out books and chalk dust lingering in the air. As she thought about her students' futures, a spark ignited within her. If she wanted to empower them, she needed to start by empowering herself. She decided then and there that she would dedicate herself to mastering English, not just for her own growth, but so she could teach her students effectively and open doors for them. This decision marked the beginning of a journey that would transform not only her life, but also the lives of countless others in her community. Chapter 2: A Teacher's Resolve. Fatima's resolve to improve her English was unwavering, yet the path ahead was fraught with challenges. In her village, access to quality educational resources was severely limited. The internet connection was sporadic at best, and electricity was unreliable, cutting off power multiple times a day. Books were scarce, and most of the ones available were outdated or damaged. Despite these hurdles, Fatima refused to let them deter her. She knew that if she wanted to make a difference in her students' lives, she had to find creative ways to overcome these limitations. Her first step was to seek out whatever materials she could get her hands on. She approached a local charity organization that occasionally donated books and supplies to rural schools. After explaining her vision, they agreed to send her a small collection of English textbooks and dictionaries. Though the books were secondhand and some pages were missing, Fatima cherished them like treasures. She spent hours poring over the texts, highlighting new vocabulary and practicing sentence structures. To supplement her learning, she wrote down unfamiliar words and their meanings in a notebook, which she carried everywhere she went. Whenever she encountered a word she didn't know, she jotted it down and looked it up later, slowly building her vocabulary. The lack of consistent internet access posed another major challenge. Online courses and language learning apps, which many people relied on, were not feasible options for her. Instead, Fatima turned to free audio resources she could download when the internet was working. She saved podcasts and recorded lectures onto her phone, listening to them repeatedly while walking to school or doing household chores. These recordings became her constant companions, helping her improve her pronunciation and comprehension. She also practiced speaking aloud, mimicking the intonation and rhythm of native speakers. At first, she felt awkward hearing her own voice stumble over unfamiliar sounds, but she persisted, reminding herself of the goal she was working toward. Another obstacle Fatima faced was finding time to study amidst her busy schedule. As a teacher, she already devoted long hours to preparing lessons, grading papers, and mentoring students. On top of that, she helped her family with farming and household responsibilities. Balancing all these duties while dedicating time to learning English required immense discipline. Fatima set aside 2 hours every evening after dinner for her studies, no matter how tired she felt. She treated this time as sacred, refusing to let anything interrupt it. On weekends, she woke up early to review what she had learned during the week and practice writing essays or short stories in English. Over time, this routine became second nature, and her progress began to show. To stay motivated, Fatima kept a journal where she documented her daily achievements, no matter how small. One entry read, "Today I learned 5 new words." Another said, "I understood an entire podcast episode without pausing." These little victories fueled her determination and gave her a sense of accomplishment. She also sought support from her colleagues at school, sharing her goals with them and asking for feedback on her spoken English. Their encouragement meant the world to her, especially on days when self-doubt crept in. Perhaps the greatest challenge Fatima faced was overcoming her fear of failure. There were moments when she doubted whether her efforts were enough, whether she would ever reach the level of fluency she aspired to. But whenever these thoughts surfaced, she reminded herself why she had started this journey. She thought about her students, their eager faces, their untapped potential, and realized that giving up was not an option. Her dedication wasn't just for herself, it was for them. Through sheer perseverance and resourcefulness, Fatima gradually transformed her struggles into stepping stones. Each hurdle she overcame strengthened her resolve and deepened her understanding of the language. By the end of 6 months, she noticed significant improvements in her ability to read, write, and speak English. More importantly, she felt ready to bring her newfound skills into the classroom, confident that she could now guide her students on their own journeys of discovery. Chapter 3: Bridging the Gap. With her improved command of English, Fatima introduced a structured English curriculum into her classroom, transforming the way her students engaged with the language. Understanding that rote memorization alone wouldn't suffice, she crafted lessons that intertwined practical usage with engaging activities, ensuring that her students not only learned English, but also enjoyed the process. Each day began with a word of the day, where Fatima introduced a new vocabulary word, using it in various sentences throughout the lesson. This approach helps students see the versatility and context of each word, making retention easier. To reinforce these lessons, she incorporated storytelling sessions where students created their own short stories using the new words. This exercise not only boosted their creativity, but also enhanced their sentence construction skills. Interactive games became a staple in Fatima's classroom. She organized spelling bees and vocabulary bingo, turning learning into a fun competition that motivated her students to participate actively. Role-playing exercises were another favorite, where students pretended to be shopkeepers, doctors, or tourists, engaging in dialogues that require them to use English in real-life scenarios. These activities made the abstract tangible, allowing students to practice conversational English in a supportive environment. Fatima also recognized the importance of listening and speaking skills alongside reading and writing. She introduced listening exercises using the audio resources she had collected, encouraging students to summarize what they heard. For speaking practice, she initiated show and tell sessions, where each student brought an item from home and described it in English to the class. This activity built confidence in public speaking and allowed students to learn from each other's presentations. To cater to different learning styles, Fatima utilized visual aids extensively. She created colorful posters illustrating common phrases and idioms which adorned the classroom walls. Diagrams and charts simplified complex grammar rules, making them accessible to visual learners. Additionally, she encouraged students to draw pictures depicting scenes from the stories they read, further cementing their understanding of narrative structures. Feedback was integral to her teaching method. After each activity, Fatima provided constructive criticism, highlighting areas of improvement while celebrating successes. She maintained a positive and encouraging atmosphere, ensuring that mistakes were seen as learning opportunities rather than failures. This nurturing environment fostered a love for learning English among her students, who began to see the language not as a barrier, but as a bridge to broader horizons. As weeks turned into months, the impact of Fatima's innovative teaching methods became evident. Students who once hesitated to speak English now eagerly participated in discussions. Their written assignments showed marked improvement in grammar and vocabulary usage. Most importantly, their confidence soared. They began to dream bigger, envisioning futures where English would be a tool to unlock doors previously closed to them. Through her dedication and creativity, Fatima was laying a foundation that would empower her students to pursue opportunities far beyond their village. Chapter 4: Seeds of Opportunity. As Fatima continued to nurture her students' English skills, the ripple effects of her efforts began to manifest in ways that exceeded even her expectations. One of the most visible changes was the growing interest among her students in applying for scholarships and exchange programs, opportunities that had once seemed unattainable. With their improved English proficiency, they now felt equipped to navigate application processes, write compelling essays, and communicate confidently during interviews. Fatima took pride in guiding them through these steps, offering personalized advice and encouragement. One student, a bright girl named Amina, stood out in particular. Amina had always been curious and hardworking, but her lack of confidence in English had held her back from pursuing ambitious goals. Under Fatima's mentorship, Amina flourished. She began participating in national essay competitions and won several awards, catching the attention of program coordinators scouting for talented students. When an international exchange program announced openings for Kenyan students, Fatima immediately encouraged Amina to apply. Together, they worked tirelessly on her application, revising drafts and rehearsing interview questions. When Amina was selected as one of the recipients, the entire village celebrated. It was a moment of triumph not just for Amina, but for everyone who had supported her journey. Other students followed suit, inspired by Amina's success. Some secured partial scholarships to attend boarding schools in larger towns, while others joined cultural exchange programs that broadened their perspectives and exposed them to diverse ideas. Fatima watched with pride as her students returned from these experiences brimming with newfound confidence and ambition. They shared stories of meeting peers from around the world, learning about different cultures, and discovering career paths they had never imagined before. These experiences planted seeds of aspiration in their minds, pushing them to aim higher than they ever thought possible. Beyond individual achievements, Fatima's work also fostered a sense of unity within the community. Parents who had initially been skeptical about the importance of English began to see its value firsthand. They noticed how their children were excelling academically and gaining access to opportunities that could change their futures. This shift in mindset led to increased support for Fatima's initiatives. Villagers started volunteering to help maintain the school facilities, organize fundraising events, and even assist with tutoring younger children. The entire community rallied behind the idea that education, and English proficiency in particular, was a pathway to progress. Fatima's impact extended beyond her immediate classroom as well. Teachers from neighboring schools visited her to observe her methods and seek advice on implementing similar programs. Recognizing the need for collaboration, Fatima organized workshops where educators could share resources and strategies. These gatherings created a network of committed professionals dedicated to improving English education across rural Kenya. Slowly but surely, the movement gained momentum, reaching more students and communities. Perhaps the most profound transformation occurred within Fatima herself. Watching her students thrive reaffirmed her belief in the power of education to break cycles of poverty and inequality. She realized that her role was not just to teach English, but to instill hope and resilience in her students. Every time she saw a child light up with excitement after mastering a difficult concept, or heard a parent express gratitude for her efforts, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Her journey had come full circle from being a young girl dreaming under the acacia tree to becoming a catalyst for change in her community. By empowering her students to seize opportunities, Fatima was planting seeds that would grow into trees of opportunity for generations to come. Her classroom had become more than a place of learning. It was a launch pad for dreams, a testament to the transformative power of determination, and a beacon of hope in a village striving for a brighter future. Chapter 5: A Legacy of Success. Years passed, and the village where Fatima taught underwent a remarkable transformation. What was once a quiet, overlooked community became a hub of ambition and achievement, thanks in large part to Fatima's relentless dedication to education. Her former students, now grown and pursuing diverse paths, carried her teachings with them wherever they went. Among them was Amina, the bright-eyed girl who had once doubted her abilities but had gone on to become the first person from the village to attend university overseas. Amina's journey was nothing short of extraordinary. After completing her undergraduate degree in environmental science at a prestigious university in Canada, she pursued a master's program focusing on sustainable development. Her research on renewable energy solutions for rural communities caught the attention of international organizations, leading to invitations to speak at global conferences and collaborate on groundbreaking projects. Despite her success, Amina never forgot her roots. She often credited Fatima for giving her the tools to succeed, particularly her mastery of English, which had opened doors she once thought were permanently closed. "I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for Mrs. Fatima," Amina said during an interview with a local newspaper. "She didn't just teach us English, she taught us to believe in ourselves. She showed us that our voices mattered, no matter where we came from." Amina's story inspired others in the village to dream bigger. One of Fatima's former students, James, secured a scholarship to study engineering in the United Kingdom. Upon returning home, he founded a startup that developed affordable solar-powered irrigation systems for farmers in rural areas. Another student, Zawadi, became a nurse and worked with international aid organizations to provide health care in underserved regions. Each of these individuals traced their success back to Fatima's classroom, where they had first discovered their potential. Fatima's influence extended beyond her immediate students. Her innovative teaching methods and commitment to English education had sparked a movement that spread to neighboring villages. Teachers from other schools adopted her techniques, incorporating storytelling, interactive games, and real-world applications into their lessons. Local governments took notice, investing in teacher training programs and providing additional resources to rural schools. The ripple effect of Fatima's work was undeniable, creating a culture of learning and aspiration that transcended generations. For Fatima, seeing her students thrive was the ultimate reward. She often reflected on how far she had come since those early days of struggling to teach English with limited resources. Her classroom, once a modest space with cracked walls and uneven floors, had been renovated into a vibrant learning center thanks to donations from alumni and community members. Posters of famous scientists, writers, and leaders adorn the walls, serving as reminders of what was possible with hard work and determination. Fatima's legacy was not just about academic success, it was about empowerment. She had taught her students that language was more than a subject, it was a bridge to opportunity, a tool for self-expression, and a means to connect with a wider world. Her lessons had instilled in them the confidence to step outside their comfort zones, embrace challenges, and strive for excellence. And as they achieved their dreams, they carried her message forward, inspiring others to do the same. In the evenings, Fatima would often sit under the same acacia tree where she had spent her childhood reading old textbooks. Now, instead of dreaming about her own future, she marveled at the futures her students were building. She thought about Amina presenting her research to world leaders, James designing solutions to improve lives, and Zawadi healing patients in remote corners of the globe. Each of them was a testament to the power of education and the enduring impact of a single teacher's dedication. Fatima's journey had come full circle, but her mission was far from over. She continued to teach, mentor, and advocate for better educational opportunities in rural Kenya. Her story served as a reminder that even in the face of adversity, one person's determination could ignite a chain reaction of change. Through her unwavering commitment, Fatima had not only transformed the lives of her students, but also reshaped the destiny of an entire community. Chapter 6: Lessons Learned and Dreams Ahead. Reflecting on her journey, Fatima realized that her story was not just about teaching English or helping students secure scholarships. It was about resilience, adaptability, and the profound impact of believing in oneself and others. Her experience taught her that true success is not measured by personal achievements alone, but by the positive changes one can inspire in the lives of others. Fatima's journey underscored the importance of perseverance, creativity, and community in overcoming challenges and achieving meaningful goals. One of the most important lessons Fatima learned was the power of resilience. When she first embarked on her mission to improve her English, she faced numerous obstacles, limited resources, unreliable internet, and a demanding schedule. Yet, she refused to let these challenges define her. Instead, she adapted, finding innovative ways to learn and grow despite the constraints. This resilience became a cornerstone of her teaching philosophy as she encouraged her students to view setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to learn and improve. Her ability to persevere in the face of adversity inspired her students to adopt the same mindset, equipping them with the mental fortitude to tackle their own challenges. Adaptability was another key takeaway from Fatima's journey. In a setting where traditional teaching methods and resources were scarce, she had to think outside the box to engage her students effectively. By incorporating storytelling, interactive games, and real-world applications into her lessons, she transformed English from a daunting subject into an exciting adventure. This adaptability extended beyond the classroom as she continually sought feedback and adjusted her strategies to meet the evolving needs of her students. Fatima's willingness to embrace change demonstrated that flexibility is essential for growth, both personally and professionally. Perhaps the most transformative lesson Fatima learned was the importance of community. Her success was never hers alone. It was built on the support of her colleagues, students, parents, and even strangers who donated books or shared resources. The collective effort of the village played a crucial role in amplifying her impact, proving that collaboration is vital for creating lasting change. Fatima's story highlighted the strength of unity and the incredible things that can be achieved when people come together with a shared purpose. Looking ahead, Fatima remains committed to her mission of empowering others through education. She envisions expanding her efforts beyond her village, reaching more rural communities across Kenya and beyond. She dreams of establishing a network of educators dedicated to improving English education in underserved areas, providing them with training, resources, and ongoing support. Fatima also hopes to partner with international organizations to bring technology and modern teaching tools to remote schools, ensuring that no child is left behind due to lack of access. On a personal level, Fatima aspires to continue growing as a teacher and a leader. She plans to pursue further studies in education, exploring new methodologies and strategies to enhance her teaching practices. She also wants to document her journey, writing a book or creating videos to share her experiences and insights with aspiring educators worldwide. Through these efforts, she aims to inspire others to take action in their own communities, fostering a global movement of empowerment through education. Fatima's story serves as a powerful reminder that one person's dedication can spark a wave of transformation. Her journey demonstrates that with resilience, adaptability, and a spirit of collaboration, barriers can be broken and dreams can be realized. As she looks to the future, Fatima carries with her the lessons she has learned and the dreams she has yet to fulfill, knowing that her work is far from over. Her legacy will continue to inspire generations to come, proving that education is not just a pathway to success, but a force for change that can reshape the world.